Welcome, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis. I'm an author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. And welcome to my channel where I do political astrology and general astrology. So today I'm going to be talking about the 2020 astrology and what it means to have all of this energy in Capricorn. But before we get started on that, just one real quick one to say, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Click like on this video, share with friends and family and on social media, and feel free to leave comments if you have any questions or anything you want to say. And also ring the bell for notifications. So if you were to click on books, you'll see the books I've written on the topic, The Power of Manifestation and In the Magic Flow. And if you're interested, you can go to Amazon and order them. So I do know what I'm talking about. This is something that I have been intensely focused on for decades. And I'm still always learning, but I would like to share with you some of the things that I do know about it. And oh, by the way, if you want those books in ebook form, they're less expensive. You can order those directly on my website. So as you can see, my altar is there in the background. And I did show this in my New Year's video. I was creating this altar for manifesting in the new year. And I've left it up there because it's still very meaningful. It's still speaking to me. And I am really trying to deepen my relationship with my spiritual guides, the ones that are not in physical manifestation, not physically incarnated, but are in another realm. And so the thing about doing, there are techniques that you can use to help with manifestation. They're not absolutely necessary because it's the energy that matters. It's the consciousness that matters. And like I said, I'm going to talk about those in a couple other videos in this series. But something like this can really help with focusing energy, because the focus, the clarity of your intent creates alignment. And it's that alignment that helps with manifestation. So let me say a little bit more about manifestation. In some ways, the New Age movement and I think it's called the New Thought movement, which was like the beginning of the New Age movement that went back like 100 years ago. That it's like been a double-edged sword. In some ways, it's helped us to understand manifestation, but in some ways, it's been harmful because it gives the impression that all you have to do is think positive and visualize, like The Secret as an example, and that things will just appear in your life. And most people who speak about this stuff legitimately say it doesn't actually work that way. And certainly I can speak from my own experience. And so the reason why it doesn't really work that way, you can't just fantasize about it, is because if all you do is fantasize about it, then all you get is fantasy. If all you do is visualize it, then all you get is a vision, which is a good starting point, but that doesn't actually bring it into material and physical manifestation. So the best way to explain this is to think about the chakras. So the energy of the cosmos, divine intelligence, is coming down through our crown chakra, and that's located here. And it has to do with the spine and the way humans are upright, so that the energy flows down from the cosmos into the earth. And so it's like we are transmitters for divine intelligence to bring things into manifestation. We were born to be creators. So it has to come down there first into the visionary realm through divine intelligence, and then into the sixth chakra, which is the energy of intuition And it's archetypal consciousness. So I am going to talk about archetypal consciousness as part of this series because you really need to understand what that means. And I'll talk about it in relationship with Saturn. So the next is your throat chakra, and that is expression. And it's important to understand it's the energy of expression. It doesn't mean it has to come through the vocal cords in order to work. Vocal cords are very helpful to expression, especially in terms of manifestation. But we need to think fundamentally about the energy of expression. That's the most important thing. And then we go down to the heart chakra, and then down to the solar plexus, where we have the third chakra, and that's all about decisions, focus, will. That's a very Saturnine chakra. And then the second chakra is creation, and everything we create, all of our creative energy comes from the second chakra. And then the first chakra, which is where we touch the earth, like it's at the end of our tailbone. It's where the rubber meets the road. You know, I'm sitting on a chair. I'm touching the earth. And that is how we connect with not just manifestation, but also when it comes back up from the earth, the abundance of the earth and how it supports us and feeds us and nourishes us and keeps us alive. So that energy should always be flowing back and forth. And so that, I think, is what you need to understand fundamentally in order to understand why you can't just visualize. If you want to manifest, you actually have to bring it all the way down into the physical material realm. That energy has to come all the way down, like through your physical body, like your hands. That's why, speaking, because you're using your vocal cords, can also help with manifestation. You have to use your hands. You have to touch the things of the earth. It's like if you want to harvest food to eat, you have to touch the earth. You have to use your hands in some way. Even if you're using your hands through a tool, you still have to use your hands. You have to touch the earth. That energy has to come all the way through, out of your body, your physical body, and touch the earth, touch the things of this material, physical existence. If you want to harvest food, you have to till the soil, you have to plant the seeds, you have to cultivate, and then harvest. And that is all about the energy coming through the physical into the material, okay? That's why fantasy and vision alone won't do it. It's like, like if you want to have a baby, the seed has to meet the egg for the creation, and then comes through out of the womb through the birth channel. So think about that, really meditate on why it has to come down into the physical and material plane. That energy has to come down from the vision. Like if you want to have a baby, you can't just have sexual fantasy. That won't make a baby. It has to come all the way down through the body. The energy has to come out through the body and connect with the physical material realm for something to be born in the material physical realm. That is manifestation. Everything else is just mental masturbation. Okay? That's why it doesn't work if you don't actually take action. All right. So, but yes, there are some techniques for focusing that energy, because the focus of the energy and the intent is what really makes it powerful. It's like a laser beam. Diffused light is nice. It's helpful, but and it helps to illuminate. So it's kind of it's like comparable to this energy up here. in the chakras up here, diffused light. But if you want to actually use that light, like the way you can use a laser beam to cut or do other things with it, that light has to be super focused. And the more focused it is, the more powerful it is. And one of the things that I remind myself of often is something I heard from a spiritual teacher named Rick Jarrow. He said, we have probably, I don't know, 50,000 thoughts a day. And he said, if we could just get 500 of those going in the same direction, we would be unstoppable. And that's only 1%. And sometimes that amazes me, like, surely it has to be more than that. I think the more, the better. The more focused you are, it's almost to the point of obsession. You have to want it that badly. And if you don't want it that badly, other things will distract you, you know. Sometimes just being comfortable will distract you, or crises because they're exciting. That'll distract you. And the whole world is about one big distraction circus, you know, to keep you from your power. But with this energy in Capricorn, this year, you have an opportunity to become a powerful manifester like you have never been before. But you have to understand how it works and how to use that energy and how to let it transform you to turn you into a powerful manifester. Okay. And that's, you know, I'm going to be talking a lot about this in this series, this 2020 astrology series. So let me just talk about the techniques and that can be helpful for focusing your attention. And then we'll see if we want to talk more about like the theory behind all of this. Okay, so I'm going to take you over to my altar over there. And I can't move the camera because it's a webcam, and I tried, I experimented with it. It didn't work. So so I'm just going to go over there and pull things up and maybe bring them a little bit closer so you can see them. Okay, here I go. Okay, so the altar itself becomes a focal point. And so that can be a tool that you can use to help you focus your energy and your attention and your intention and your resources. To, if you focus it all, you can that can help you with getting into alignment, you know, to turning yourself into a powerful laser beam of manifestation. So the altar itself is very helpful for focusing. And then the things you put on the altar can also be helpful. I have a candle in the center because there's something called candle magic, which is the same thing. It's about getting into a meditative state so you can get all of that energy coming down through your chakras for the purpose of manifestation. Another technique that people often use is vision boarding, and a lot of times that's just a collage. But I did one where I just made a picture for myself. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, you know. It's really about drawing on that creative energy, because if you don't love what you're doing, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not having fun, fundamentally, you're not going to stick with it, you know, because you'll be miserable. Why would you do something that makes you miserable? So there has to be an element of fun and play. And that's the second chakra. The second chakra is all about fun and play, pleasure, creativity, where you're going to birth something, okay? So remember that when you're thinking about what you want to do, you're getting clear, you're getting focused, you're creating your intention, that it really, just doing the visualization and fantasy part of it should be fun. It should bring up a feeling of pleasure, excitement, happiness, okay? If you're not feeling that, then something's out of alignment. So anyway, I just made this fun little picture for focus. So one idea for focus can be to think of a word that will be your word for this year. And you don't have to come up with it immediately. You can play with it, but just see what bubbles up in your intuition. My word is stars. And I use some fun little smiley faces so you can see the S-T-A-R-S, stars. And what that word means to me is it's reminding of me of my relationship to the stars, to the cosmos, and all that that means to me. And living under the stars, this is my tent here and my camp chair in front of a campfire in the mountains. And this is also an image of mountain climbing, because that's another really powerful metaphor to think about this Saturnian Capricornian energy, because the symbol is the mountain goat and the mountain climb. So I put the mountain in there as well. See, that's me here, living under the stars. I love being out in nature, connecting with nature, connecting with the cosmos. And that's my metaphorical mountain that I'm climbing this year, up to the stars, and bringing the stars down to me and my relationship with them. And then it also reminds me of the fact of my writing. And maybe I want to do some writing about all of this. In fact, I do want to write. I've been wanting to write a book about astrology for a long time. And I think this may be the year I actually do it. And so that's my writing there. That's the manuscript, and that's the book. So I'm visualizing a published book. And that's it. And I titled it Stars because it's about, I wanted it to be very personal, not just an astrology cookbook, but something very personal about my relationship with the stars. Okay, so, and then this over here is my YouTube astrology business. And so I kind of see them as related. You know, I'm living under the stars, my relationship with cosmos and nature, bringing that into inspiration for my writing, wanting to write a book about my relationship with the stars and astrology. So it's, again, it's not just a cookbook, but it's something very personal about what it means, not just to be an astrologer, but to have a relationship with the stars, with the cosmos, and with nature, because the Earth is a planet as well. And then how I bring that into my YouTube astrology business. And so I hope that they will all three support each other. Okay, so that's why I drew that picture, was to get that focus. So my word for the year is stars, and that reminds me of what what I want to manifest this year. Okay, so let me go back, see if I can show you some more things here. I've got some travel guides because I plan to travel to Arizona and Tucson and San Francisco. Should be out there by mid-February at the latest. And there are some other places I'll be traveling this year as well, which again is related to my desire to be under the stars, my desire to manifest an agent and a publisher. That's why I'm going to San Francisco for Writers Conference. And so that's, just to, again, to bring into focus the things that are important to me this year and what I want to manifest. And then I've got some of my writing here that I have submitted to contests because I obviously want to win. Why would I submit if I didn't want to win? And let's see, I've got a map here that I'll probably need, and some books. I chose a couple, Wild by Cheryl Strayed, where she writes about her hiking of the PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail, and Tracks by Robin Davidson, when she crossed the Australian desert and wrote memoirs about it. And again, I thought about that because there are women who went into nature and experienced it very personally. And so, in other words, it doesn't matter. You don't have to hike across the outback. You don't have to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. But
for empowerment, any human being who goes into nature and spends a significant amount of time there alone, you're going to be changed by that. And that's part of why I love Living Under the Stars. And I want to write about that experience and how it transforms me. So that's why I put those two memoirs there as a reminder to me of what I'm really trying to do here, both with my own personal experience and with my writing. And also a couple books by Carlos Castaneda, Tales of Power and the Eagle's Gift, because he is also one of my spiritual teachers. I've studied his work, and I find it very powerful, and I want to explore that in more depth as well this year. And then, let's see, I've got this Wikipedia journal, A Book of Shadows, which I want to work with this year as well, because this is a book specifically for the purpose of writing down, like, you know, if you do a spell, I should say what spells are. A spell is like an invocation, an incantation, because it really is speaking to this chakra. When you express what you want, you speak it as an incantation, and you evoke it with your vocal cords. You invoke it with your vocal cords by speaking. Incantation, cant, is like a singer. That's the root word. I don't mean can't as in I can't. No, it's I can. And I am singing. Chant comes from the same root. I'm singing what I want, you know, when I express through my vocal cords. And spell is the same thing, because when we write, we're spelling. It's another form of expression. So you can think about those words. And incantation is calling what you want. And invocation is vocalizing what you want to draw it into you. And then spell. You write out your what you want to manifest. You have to write it out. You have to speak it. You have to communicate it. You have to express it. But it also needs to be in the right way and in the right time and the right environment. Because there is something about how you can bring to you by creating a safe environment with supportive energies and supportive entities, as opposed to bringing in a lot of the dark, shadowy, fear-based energy. You don't want that in your incantations and spells. So anyway, this is just a way of tracking it. If you do something, you can write down the date, the moon phase, and exactly what you said, what you did, and then you can keep track of it and see how effective it was. Okay, so that's another thing I put here on my altar. And then I've also got my manuscript for the science fiction novel that I wrote, because I want to get an agent and guide to literary agents, because that's one of my primary goals. And I've got a lottery ticket here. Sure would be nice to win. And I've got some tax receipts. So when I do my tax returns, obviously, I hope to receive a refund, as do all people. We love getting refunds, don't we? So, so that's there on my altar to, again, draw in energy to manifest a refund. And then this is the funnest thing here, the $60, because there's a little story around that. What happened was yesterday I was just walking down the sidewalk, and I was going to the grocery store, and I was having this conversation with my mom in my head, because one of the things I've learned over the years is that faith and trust and abundance is absolutely essential to manifestation. And for some reason, I was just having a conversation about that with my mom in my head, because we had been talking about money and filing taxes and things like that. And that's one of the things I've learned about manifestation, is how important faith and trust in providence is. It wants you to trust and have faith first before the reward will show up. So I was having that thought in my head, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I was thinking, yeah, I absolutely now have learned how to have faith and trust in providence. And just, taking a few more steps, and within less than 60 seconds, I saw, it had snowed, and I saw this weird green color in the snow, and it was like not quite the color of grass. So I just wondered what it was. And as I stepped closer and crouched down, I discovered $60 just sitting there. And it was all soggy because it was in the snow. And so obviously I picked it up. I mean, there was no one around who it could have belonged to. So I thought, well, that's a message for sure. Because I had been having that thought it was literally less than 60 seconds. I had that thought, I had the feeling that went with it. And then the next thing I knew, there it was sitting there in the snow. So that was really fun. So I put that on my altar, and I said, thanks. Thank you. That's another thing, is gratitude, and literally saying thank you. Thank you to all those divine entities that are helping you and supporting you. All right. So before this video gets too long, I think I better bring it to a close. So I hope that gave you some understanding of manifestation and how it works, and some of the tools and techniques that you can use. So if you have more questions about this, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, because I'm happy to answer any questions. And also, if I see that there's a lot of interest in the subject, and this is the year to do it. If you want anything, this is absolutely the year to do it, because not only do you have fantastic energy for actual manifestation with Jupiter there, but it's also about how you transform yourself. When you transform yourself, you transform your external reality. It starts at energy. It starts at the energetic level. The energy has to be, you have to work with the energy. It's not just like gobbledygook. The energy can't just be all diffused and scattered and fragmented and, like globbed up. It has to be clean, flowing through the channel, directed. It has to have integrity, has to be integrated, direct, focused, clear, in alignment. It has to come through just like so clean and clear and direct, and then come out into manifestation. That's how the process works. So again, I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, leave them below, or comments as well. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click like on this video, ring the bell for notifications, share with friends and family and on social media, and all that other really good stuff, because I really love it when you do that. It's helping me build my channel. And one more time, if you want a reading, just go to my website, yvonnedavis.com, go to the astrology, click on the button to order a reading, and I will get in touch with you. I check my email at least once every 24 hours. So it's not immediate. It's not set up on autoresponders, but you'll always get a response from me within 24 hours. Or you can email me at admin@yvonnedavis.com. And I think that's about it. Oh, and also the link is below. So if you just want to go straight to that link, it's below for both my website and my Patreon. All right, so that's it for today. And like I said, this is going to be a series, so keep your eyes open for the other videos that will be related to this and help you with your manifestation, help you to work with this energy this year. And again, that's another good reason to ring the bell. Click on that bell for notifications so you'll get those others as they come out. And that's it for today. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.